get everybody together and ask this question. What is the goal of education? It's the first question to ask if you want to revolutionize this thing is what is the reason that we ask those kids to sit in those chairs, or hopefully not, hopefully they're bouncing around the room and doing all kinds of stuff, but you understand my point. What is the reason we ask them to come to this building for 8 hours a day? And let's, as a staff, identify what we believe the answer to that question is.
Then in an ideal world, I really would love that our teachers become entrepreneurs themselves, and so that they can then become consultants in the summer and go and try to help other schools implement what we're doing. I think that you have to be an entrepreneur in order to teach entrepreneurs. It's a mindset.
So when I was in high school, I wish it operated a lot like startups do, which is that lean startup methodology. Sujata mentioned the reflection, which is pretty important. So I don't know how many. Yeah, sure. So the lean startup is basically this ideology where you have an idea, you build it, you test it, you see if it fails or if it works, and then you pivot. One of the biggest parts of it is developing a hypothesis before you start this failure. So it's not actually a failure if you fail, because the value from learning and getting the metrics that you got from that failure is incredibly important. And I wish in high school that it operated the same way, where you could develop a hypothesis of this is what I want to do and be allowed to fail. And the actual test of the learning is these are the metrics that I learned from this failure, not the failure itself. I mean, so kind of like I said, a lot of these theories, at least with things like design thinking, the lean methodology, it's all about putting the user in the center. Yeah. So if we were to move on to some other methodology, the most important thing for me, both as someone who wants to see education progress and also as a product developer, is to keep putting the user in the center. So I'm going to be happy as long as we keep coming up with methodologies to bring the user's voice closer and closer to the surface.
Yeah.
I think the startups are starting to change how they think about the workforce, especially in the role of STEM people, because it's such a scarce resource. And I think the larger players are going to have to start to adapt the way that they assess candidates as well. You see Google dropping GPA requirements because they don't see a strong correlation between that and the success of the employee. And I can tell you as a startup person that's hiring a bunch of people, one of the most important things is seeing that creativity and outside projects and seeing what they've actually been able to build. And I don't really care about the schools that they go to as much as what they're able to do.